Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for joining me. I'm your host, Derek Lane. Another edition of the Fast Lane, your podcast for success. Thanks so much for joining me. I am pleased that you're listening to this episode. Thanks again for all my listenership and all the Fast Lane friends out there. Tonight, let's talk about, or today, either way, let's talk about the Boomarang Effect. Now, that's kind of an old terminology. That's kind of maybe a dated terminology. A lot of people refer to it a little more now as just simply karma. Okay, what you send out is what you receive back. What you give is what you get. Okay, when you have, let's say, thoughts of deception, thoughts of manipulation, that's what you get. You get deceived. You get manipulated. So sometimes it takes a while to discover that what we really introduce into our lives is pureness and wholeness. It comes to us in the form of trial and error, i.e. Karma. So when people say, I believe in karma, they believe that what they sow is what they reap. Let's just hope that when people say that, they mean that and they understand that. Sometimes the word is misused or overused. And so what we want to discover here is what it really means, what karma or the boomerang effect really means. I think the Chinese has a I don't know if you want to say a parable, but more of a saying that says that a stone that causes a ripple on one side of the ocean causes a riptide on the other side, a wave. So what you put into effect only multiplies and causes a larger effect. So what you put into action, your thoughts, your being, what you put into action causes effects beyond what your initial thought or action was or is. Okay? So when you think about it, this is the thing that will help you understand. This is the thing that helps you understand that negative emotions, negative thoughts only create negative emotions, negative thoughts. It creates situations that are negative. When you create positive thoughts, you create positive actions, positive repercussions. Okay, I know we've heard that. You know, you're going, yeah, Derek, I understand that. I get it. I've heard it a million times. But I want you to really understand it. I want you to really understand, because when you really understand it, you begin to make it a part of your daily life. And that's when change happens. That's when change becomes a part of who you are, when you start to see what happens. I know it's funny, there's a podcast that I have, oh gosh, I can't think of the one, the title right off the top of my tongue, but there's a podcast that I talk about, giving thanks and giving, paying back the gratitude in your life, which means being thankful for everything that you have that's positive, being thankful for everything that's good, and sometimes we all think, well, I don't really have that much to be thankful for, and I will call BS. Yeah, we all have problems. We all have situations, that life presents to us as a challenge. Life presents to us things that challenge us to make us a better person, to get us the teaching and the lesson so we can understand how to persevere and how to move forward. But overall, your gratitude for things that you have is right there. You should acknowledge it. In other words, if you've got a lovely spouse, if you've got a good relationship with your parents, your children, you've got great relationships with coworkers, people that you interact with on a daily basis, those things are not to be taken for granted. Those things should be acknowledged as, a positive force in your life. Okay? So be grateful for the things that you have. The relationships and the people around you are the most important. Okay? The ebb and flow of financial means goes up and down, and it'll always be that way. If you're positive and you have positive outcomes, you'll have more of the highs and the lows, which is great for you. But the people in your life, that's the meaning. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing here, is that you're influencing the people in your life. And the people in your life are influencing you. Just make sure you have the takeaways that are positive, and you have the boomerang effect. What you give is what you get. We all have people that are challenging. We all have people that are difficult. That's okay. We can get through that. If you know who you are as a person, and you know your boundaries, you know what motivates you, and you do that on a daily basis, then you're okay. You can deal with anything. You can deal with the most difficult people if you understand who you are on a regular basis. So what you give is what you get. The boomerang effect means when you put it out there, it's going to come back to you. You're putting it out there negative, guess what you're going to get? You put it out there positive, guess what you're going to get? Yeah, okay. So it's not hard to uncover the things that we need to be doing. What is hard is the implementation of what we need to be doing, because you have a tendency to fall back into those bad habits. Some people do. Some people fall back into the bad habits because when we watch television and we watch the news and we watch programs, it's all geared on a negative level, okay? Because that's what the shock value is. That's what makes us come back. That's what appalls us, is the detriment of the society around us. And I can't believe this that is going on. And if you watch the news in today's time and you're caught up in it, guess what? Really, it's not so much different than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever. The feed is the preposterous. The feed is the incredible negatives that's happening in our world. The stimulation, the stimuli, is there so you can repeat watching, so you can repeat what's going on in the world in a negative fashion so you can be a part of it, right? So once you understand that there is more good than bad, there really is. Think about it. If there was more bad than good, our society would be in total chaos, and you couldn't even walk out your front door, right? You would be in such disharmony with everything. People are inherently good. It's a small percentage of bad people that make the news. The majority, the large part, the greater mass of people are good. And that's what we focus on. That's what we should focus on. That's the karma that we involve ourselves in. Okay, so once you understand that and you quit dwelling on the negative and then the bad part, and it's okay to be aware of it, that's fine. But realize that that's not your world. Your world is positive. Your world is a greater world of giving and helping. Giving and helping is a natural part of the human experience. People will give you and help you more than they want to harm you or hurt you. And the greater good is out there for you to understand. So the boomerang effect can leave you positive or leave you negative, right? It can make you say, I don't care anymore. Or it can give you the uplifting moments in your life that says, I do care, and I want to give, and I get back. And the satisfaction that I get back spiritually is just overwhelming. So understand that you were put on this earth to help, to give back. And in order to do so, you get back. You reap the benefits. You know, anybody that listens to this podcast probably has understood or heard Zig Ziglar, the great, motivational speaker. His mantra, with every speech that he ended was, you can have anything in life that you want if you help enough other people get what they want. He understood. He understood that. He knew it. He experienced it. You give back so much, you're going to get back so much. Okay? So karma, the boomerang effect, is there as a lesson in life that you don't need to seek out. You don't need to find, a grand master to teach you this. You know it. It's inherent in your heart. And once you start living the way of your heart, you live your life. Think about this. Live your life in the perfect way. In other words, if you removed all of the negative crap that's out there, all the stuff you hear on TV, the news, if you eliminate all that and you could live the life that you've dreamed of, how would you live it? My question to you is, don't wait until something gets better to live the life that you want. Just go ahead. Live the life that you want, assuming that everything is positive. Everything is beautiful. Go ahead and live the life that you want now. Because if you wait for it, you'll be waiting forever. The beauty of life is that it happens now. And I talked about living in the future, living in the past. You have to live in the now. The power of now. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. There's a great book that he wrote. It's a very powerful book about understanding the power of now. But I want you to understand that something deeper than the cosmic experience of living in the now is the conscious experience of living in the now. And when I talk about the conscious experience, I'm talking about just your day-to-day life. You don't have to think about, you don't have to meditate on, you have to understand it as it is in your reality. Your reality is what it is. When you wake up in the morning and you do the things that you need to do, you go about your daily life and you do it. Sometimes in a robotic mode, automated. You do the same things over and over. The thing that I want you to change is your understanding of that. I want you to change your perception of that you're not doing it because you have to do it, because that's what you do. You begrudgingly do it. I want you to do it in the form of positive. I want you to do it, your day-to-day life, in the form of, I am who I am, and I do this in a positive manner. I want you to understand, some of you may have heard this phrase from the Zen teachings. Zen says that before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Okay, you see, there was really no difference there, right? However, it's all the difference in the world. You do what you do, but you do it in an enlightened form. You do it in a manner that's consistent with a higher power, your higher consciousness. You do it on a different level. When you become enlightened, when you become the person that you want to be, and quit waiting on the person that you want to be, quit waiting on things to change, the effects of your world to change, to allow you to be that person, and you just go, let me just do it now. Let me just be the person I want to be. One of the, for folks that may not know or remember, a brilliant comedian, great comedian, Jonathan Winters. I love his quote. He said, "I couldn't wait for success, so I went ahead without it." I thought it was beautiful, simple, and yet so poignant. I couldn't wait for success. I just went ahead without it. Go ahead. Don't wait for success. It's there for you. It's your world. It is your world. It is your reality. Take control of it and do what you do. Send the right vibrations to receive the right vibrations. Let the boomerang effect benefit you, not harm you. And it all starts in your mind, your energy, your electricity. That's where it stems from. Okay? All right. I can't believe that we're nearing, 18 minutes here. So, thank you again, and I hope that this message has been of benefit to you. It's something that I've kind of wanted to tackle, maybe a little more in depth, but I don't want to lose people. You understand. So thank you for your listenership. The Fast Lane Podcast for Success. I'm your host, Derek Lane. If you want me to address certain things, you want to see certain things in the show, please, Derek at FastLanePodcast.com. Derek at FastLanePodcast.com. Like and share. If you're on iTunes, leave positive comments. You listen to me on iHeart, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, whatever your favorite, Castbox, whatever it is that you're listening to me on. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. I know this is